Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with the Dwarves, Blind. Now, last time I scared some children, Oh, frick, what's happening? I wasn't planning on doing that. Last time I scared some children, so hopefully this time it's going to be a little bit better. I'm going to visit this town because it has a little question mark, so presumably like a side quest or something, because my actual main objective is right here, but it's not that much of a detour.
You see a flickering light through the trees some way from the path. It might come from a campfire.
Yeah, approach the fire audibly so that you don't frighten anyone. I guess generally it's a bit of a toss-up whether you should sneak up on people, because if they are enemies, then obviously, for example, if they are orcs, it would be better to sneak up on them. But if they are just regular people, then it's kind of rude and also, again, creepy to sneak up on them. Not to mention, you might get hurt, because if they think you're like a thief or like a robber or, you know, a highwayman or something, they might shoot you with an arrow or something, like, or generally they would just be frightened. And so I think I'm just going to approach openly, and if they are enemies, then we are going to square off in honorable combat.
You walk towards the fire with confident strides until you finally make out 3 broad-shouldered men with axes. 2 rabbits are sizzling over the fire. The men are joking with one another, but you can only understand the odd word. They haven't noticed you yet.
I am going to introduce myself. I'm wondering if they are also going to be scared or angry with me being a dwarf.
Once you reach the edge of the firelight, you say amicably,
"Greetings. My name is..."
The men jump up and grab their axes.
Who's there?
Well, I'll be. Is that a groundling?
The men look you over suspiciously.
Sorry for the intrusion. With whom do I have the pleasure?
My name is Tungdil. May I know with whom I have the pleasure?
Well, that's not particularly...
A perfect stranger, a groundling speaking like a king. We are woodcutters. Talk our language, or better still, get lost.
I only wanted to be polite.
Sod your politeness and your pretty words, groundling, and be off with you.
The man strengthens his grip on the axe and glares at you with sinister yellow eyes.
Well, apparently they are also not very fond of dwarves. I'm not going to fight them. It seems very stupid to fight somebody over being rude, especially because, to be honest, they don't have, like, it is a bit, you know, you could make an argument that it was rude of me to intrude upon their campsite, because obviously they don't know me. I'm just a random person on the road, so I'm just going to leave.
You shrug your shoulders indifferently and take 3 small steps backwards without taking your eyes off the men.
All right, if I'm not welcome here, then I'll go.
Good! And don't even think about coming back to stab us in the back or steal from us. We'll keep guard. There's nothing here for groundling scum.
They definitely don't like dwarves, that's for sure. But I am no thief, and certainly no murderer. I am going to state that at the very least. And if they are going to start a fight over it, then so be it. It's going to be their choice.
Your heart is pounding, and you confront the man a little more courageously than you feel.
I'm no thief, and I'm certainly no murderer. I only wanted to see if...
Pah! All groundlings are thieves and good-for-nothings.
You find it difficult to take control of your voice again.
Have you met many dwarves?
Enough to know that you're all dirty thieves.
Interesting. Interesting that they think that. Is there any particular reason for the dislike of the dwarves around these parts, or is it just because they don't know anything about them, so they sort of naturally presume that as outsiders they are bad? Like, I wonder, I'm eager to learn more about this universe and about how dwarves are perceived and why, because why are they so convinced that we are all thieves, for example? To be honest, at this point, I'm kind of almost willing to fight them. Like, I just wanted to leave them alone. It was them who sort of, what's the word? Who antagonized me further. So I'm going to talk back to them at the very least, because this, I think I went the wrong way. It's far too grovelly for my liking. Like, I didn't do anything that wrong. I just stumbled upon their campfire. They didn't want me, so I wanted to leave, and they were insulting me and my people, all the way through.
Now consider this. I am a dwarf with an axe, and I don't use my axe for cutting down trees.
The men are visibly unsettled and lower their axes a little.
I can call them chickens as well, but I guess I'm going to go for the more neutral. I thought so.
I thought so.
You turn your back on the men and walk back to the path confidently. You don't hear any steps behind you, and only once you've put distance between you do you dare look back over your shoulder. None of the men have followed you. You sigh with relief. It could have ended up a very painful experience if you'd provoked the men or shown them any weakness.
Okay, let's continue this way. I wonder if I have enough food to reach this location. Fallowstone. Well, I guess I have to go vaguely north anyway.
You reach the banks of the Warder and can see Axeldale on the other side, but there isn't a bridge for far and wide. The fishermen's boats glide over the water, which sparkles in the sun. None of the men seem to notice you while they throw out their nets. You look at the cold, dark water. The current seems so strong that they could carry off even the most experienced of swimmers, and you aren't even a mediocre one. You once read a legend in a book. Elria, the goddess of water, did not like the children of the forge and cursed the dwarves, so that they would drown in any waters beyond their kingdoms. The main reason that dwarves avoid water to this day.
Interesting, but I guess that presumes that legend presumes that it's safe to swim. It's safe for a dwarf to swim as long as the body of water is located within the dwarven kingdoms. So I thought that it's meant to explain the dwarven dislike for water and swimming, but this legend doesn't really work for that, because according to this, you would be perfectly safe swimming in like a lake or even a sea, provided it is within the borders of a dwarven kingdom.
You call to the nearest fisherman. He looks across at you briefly before turning away and getting back to his work. You're going to have to find another way of crossing the river. You leave the peaceful banks of the river behind you and continue on your way.
Okay, let's go over here to Goodwater.
You look down on a large village on the banks of the Warder. Some of the village is built on stilts in the river. A wooden bridge spans the fast-flowing water. A huge wooden palisade has been erected to protect the village from attack.
Okay, I will try visiting the village.
The guards on the palisade are watching you. Their armor looks well cared for and well made. The smith who made them knew what he was doing. You conclude that the men depend on the protection the armor offers and aren't just wearing them to look good. They're certainly not villagers.
There are some pyres burning or something.
There are small fires burning every 50 steps or so. They are intended to light up the area in front of the palisade in the night, so that orcs can't creep up to within an arrow's reach without being seen. There are small fires.
Okay. I do get that. So let's talk with the guards then.
The double gate is made of strong planks, sturdy but still much less solid than the fixed parts of the palisade. Security has been forgone here for practical reasons. Never a good idea when building fortifications. Some of the guards begin to whisper as you near the gate.
Hello up there!
What brings you to fair Goodwater? And have you seen any orcs on your travels, groundling?
The man leaning over the palisade eyes you up and down carefully.
I demand entry. No, I don't. I'm just going to ask.
Goodwater is well known for its hospitality.
A fact that you've just made up yourself.
Let me in, and I will tell other travellers all about it.
I regret to inform you that we cannot allow you to enter. The gates stayed closed once night has fallen.
There is certainly no regret showing in the man's face. The orc heads on the spears look fresh, a fact that causes you unease for more than one reason.
Those won't scare orcs away.
I hope not. The more orc heads that end up on those spears, the more gold coins that end up in our pockets. Right, boys? Yeah! That's right! Yeah! We've killed our fair share of orcs and know how to motivate them. Those ugly mugs will spur them on, and then they'll perish in front of our gates.
Two things become clear to you. Firstly, that the mercenaries the villagers have hired are excellent at killing orcs, and secondly, that they sadly have no brains at all.
When did you kill these orcs?
Yesterday. We caught a couple of their scouts first. The others tried to take revenge in the evening. Let's see who'll turn up today.
I wasn't even intending on clicking that dialogue option, but I guess it wasn't that bad. I randomly clicked, my finger slipped on the keyboard, and I clicked, I think, 1 or 2 on the keyboard, and I guess all of the dialogue options are numbered, so I could select them just by using numbers. I guess I can use this option. Maybe if I offer my services as an engineer, they will be more favorably predisposed towards me.
I'm a blacksmith and a dwarf. Let me tell you, your gate might look solid, but it won't withstand a real orc assault.
The murmuring all around him makes the man pause for a moment. If anyone else had criticized the stronghold, they'd have been laughed down and shooed away. But no one understands defense systems like the dwarves.
A dwarf blacksmith who just happens to be standing in front of our gate?
Well, this is a lie, so I'm not going to... this is not particularly impressive to say I have read about it, but I'm not going to lie about being some renowned fortification engineer, because I am not.
I'm a skilled craftsman, and I'm sure I can improve this gate for you. I'm a dwarf, and I know of the dwarven art of building from books.
A bookworm? You're going to strengthen our gate with papier-mâché?
I'm sure papier-mâché would help, but that's not what I...
You stop mid-sentence. The mocking expression on the mercenary's face tells you that a white lie would have worked better. You'll have to try something else.
To be honest, that wasn't a white lie. Like, that was a white lie is saying that a dress doesn't make your girlfriend look fat when it does, or something. Like, this would just be plain bullshit. Like, I was supposed to claim I'm some renowned engineer of the mountains, and I've engineered the fortification of some great, stronghold or something. Like, that's a pretty big lie, if you ask me. So I guess I'm not getting in. I'm not going to cry too much about it. Because I'm not going to beg them to let me in either. Let's just go. And I think I have better uses for gold than trying to bribe them.
Stay alert. If I see anything, I'll scream.
Oh, yeah. You bet.
Okay. So I guess I'm going away. That was overall pretty uneventful, but couldn't have known that before. Wait, how do I even leave? I was pretty certain I came from here originally. Okay, I'm kind of confused. How do I... set up camp by the fire, so I have to sleep because it's already night. I guess that makes sense. I cannot travel without rest.
You think about waiting by the fire until the morning. At least you wouldn't have to go cold.
Yeah, let's go.
You hardly slept a wink during the night, jumping at the slightest sound.
At least I wasn't cold.
Okay, let's continue onwards. I have to go towards my destination because I'm kind of running out of food.
An uneasy feeling has been your constant companion since you left Goodwater. Every little sound in the forest makes you fear you've been discovered by a horde of orcs. But you reach the end of the day without bumping into any of the greenskins. It seems as though Vrakas has granted you one more day in Girdlegard. As night begins to fall, you pass a large oak tree and decide to call it a day. Near the oak tree is an abandoned camp with a fireplace, which appears to be a couple of days old.
There are orcs around, you say? And quite a lot of them. Because the narrator said about a horde? Although I guess that was mostly my fears, but they have attacked the city, so it couldn't have been like, 5 of them or something. So I'm kind of considering sleeping in the tree, because obviously there I would be much harder to ambush, but it's also rather uncomfortable. But I guess it is a good balance between not sleeping at all. So let's try it. especially because the narration might be kind of amusing, what with me being a dwarf and having to sleep on a tree, like maybe the narrator will comment on it in some fun way.
You swing yourself up the trunk and then pull up your baggage after you. You're prepared to sleep in a tree like a bird if it means escaping the orcs' attentions. You sling your rope twice around your stomach and the trunk of the tree to stop you from falling accidentally. You close your eyes and dream. You see North Pass and smell the fresh, icy wind that sweeps over the peaks of Great Blade and Dragon's Tongue. But the harmony is interrupted by the hideous roar of an unending flood of orcs throwing itself unceasingly against the fortification. You smell the disgusting green blood of the orcs and taste the rancid fat of their armor on your tongue. The bitter taste becomes stronger until it's unbearable and wrenches you out of your dream. You open your eyes and are surprised at the brightness as a glance at the sky confirms that it's still night. Your eyes move towards the ground, and what you see makes the blood in your veins freeze.
I am Sinthras of Son Balsur. My master, Nod On the Doublefold, ruler of the perished land, has elected you, the lords of Taboribor, to be the sword that conquers the south.
You mean you want us to put our necks on the line and be killed by some magus?
Lot Ionan and the others will be taken care of. Your task is to create a diversion in the south until my master's plan succeeds.
And which of us is the leader?
The one that conquers the most land.
So Kragnar will be the new Grand Lord.
He glares at Ushnots and Bashkug.
The Kragnar Shore tribe will conquer the most land.
Never! We will overwhelm the cities of the Red Bloods quicker than you can suck the marrow from a bone.
We shall see.
You can't believe what you're hearing. If the beasts of Tion ride into battle together, catastrophic cycles lie ahead for Girdlegard. The night in the oak tree was the worst of your life. You spent every single moment afraid that you'd be found and savaged by the orcs. But as the first rays of sun broke through the treetops, the orcs abandoned their camp and left without discovering you.
Okay, so generally it seems it was a good idea to sleep up on a tree, because if I was on the ground, they could have presumably just overwhelmed me and killed me if I didn't notice their approach fast enough to escape.
Better safe than sorry.
Your eyes scan the deserted camp, and you listen carefully for any noise. But you don't see or hear anything suspicious.
Okay. So let's investigate the remnants of the camp.
You're overcome by the urge to vomit. You have, of course, heard the stories, but seeing with your own eyes that orcs actually do eat humans is a long way from just reading about it.
This is the place. I knew it was here. Come on then, find that stupid necklace. Hey, Fuskar! In front of you! A grounding! Perfect for a spotted breakfast!
Okay, I'm not going to... as much as I don't think I stand much of a chance against, 6 of them, I'm not going to run from the orcs. That would surely bring dishonor on my entire clan and lineage, and on the entire dwarven race. So, bring it on, greenskins.
You know that you're no warrior, but you want to face the orcs as a child of the Divine Smith. Perhaps you'll manage to kill at least one of them, so as not to appear so undwarven in Varacus's eyes.
I'll give you something to chew on. Varacus made us of stone.
Well, okay, that didn't go that well.
Oink, oink, little piggies! By Barrowin's beard! How did you manage to lose your weapon? Go and get it, and this time, hold it tight! Hey, that one was mine!
You're just too slow, dear brother.
Too slow? Just wait!
Okay, so I've acquired some new companions.
Huh?
Okay, Tungdil is definitely a weak link of this whole party, kind of. I have to be careful.
What is it? I didn't hit you very hard. Oh, what bad!
They're hitting me pretty hard. Understood.
Okay, I am in a bit of a predicament here.
Yes, as good as dough. Hey!
Understood.
Yeah. And what now? He hardly put up a fight. I just need. What is it?
Huh? Please wait a moment. I need help over here, quickly. They're hitting me pretty hard. At once.
Yeah.
On my way.
Okay,
Killed. At once.
What is it?
I might be kind of screwed.
Attack!
Yeah.
End it. I need help over here, quickly.
Damn it. How many more of them are there?
They're hitting me pretty hard.
Too easy. On my
I
way.
need help over here, quickly.
Yeah.
On my way. At once. Understood. At once.
I didn't hit you very hard.
They're hitting me pretty hard. Understood.
Yeah.
At once. Attack! I can't do that yet.
Boindale! Yeah. What could do with your axes over
Understood.
here?
End it.
What is it? As good as done. All right.
Okay, I
On
presume
my way.
that if
Yes?
Tungdil dies, then it's game over,
Varacus.
because obviously he's the main character,
Yes.
and I guess the others
All right.
can be brought down
Say goodbye forever.
temporarily,
Yeah.
and the game is still allowed to continue, so that's something that's good to
What is
know.
it? Oh,
Generally
what
for the
bad
future.
you. Too easy. Say goodbye
Understood.
forever.
End it. At once.
Yeah. Oink oink. That's all. No more orcs. Well fought, young friend. Do you happen to be Tungdil? Well fought, but he fought like a. Boindale, what do you expect? He grew up amongst the humans.
Who are you, and how do you know my name?
My name is Boindale Hookhand of the clan of the Swinging Axes. This is my brother Boindale Doubleblade. We've been sent to find you. Call me Ironheart. Are there any more piggy snouts around here?
You turned up at just the right moment. But are you sure it's me you're looking for?
The High King Gundrabor sent us to fetch you and bring you to Ogre's death in the Secondling realm in the south.
So he received the letter from my master. And am I a secondling?
Well, something like that, I guess.
Then My family was found and the High King wants to bring me back to my clan.
No, you're not a secondling. You're a fourthling. And you're to...
The High King will tell you all about that once we get to Ogre's death. We should get going.
There was a meeting last night. The Elfar serve a certain Lot Ionan who calls himself Lord of the Perished Land. They have enlisted 3 orc hordes to cause unrest in the south.
Did you hear that, Boandal? Peggy snouts!
The Elfar from Son Balzur and the orcs from Taboribor are working together?
And could ally with the orcs from the Perished Land.
The twins look at you solemnly. You all know what that would mean for the people of Girdlegard.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say, but it's our duty to get you to the Ogre's Death Fortress in one piece.
I thought the duty of dwarves was to protect the innocent in Girdlegard.
Lot Ionan and King Broron will take care of the orcs. We 3 must be careful. You're not exactly a warrior.
But he has broad shoulders and broad hands. There's hope for him yet. So when you've got the chance to split a few orc skulls, you should take it.
I would be happy to follow you into the realm of the secondlings. In truth, there is nothing I would rather do. But first, I must travel to Blacksaddle and return some things to a former famulus of Lot Ionan.
Blacksaddle isn't exactly on our way.
It's on my way. We can head south as soon as I've carried out Lot Ionan's orders.
Well, he's certainly got the stubbornness of a dwarf. Perhaps we'll be able to make a real dwarf of him on the way.
All right, we'll accompany you. The sooner we find that famulus, the quicker we can get back to the mountains.
I'll have to send Lot Ionan a message by carrier pigeon on the way. And if we happen to stumble upon a couple of orcs...
I like you, but we'll have to find you another name. Bolafar. It's about as good as Lipsmith, Paddletosh, or Blufflegrump. It is stupid, senseless, and definitely not a name of honor. What are you good at?
I'm good at reading.
Reading? You're a scholar?
Okay, so apparently Tangdil has leveled up, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to allocate any statistics or something. And also, it's nice to have more dwarven companions. I wonder if obviously this is the game about this is a game about dwarves that's literally called The Dwarves. So it's not like I wasn't expecting it. It's just refreshing because, as I said, usually there's like a token dwarf in the party, and just now it makes me think if maybe all of my companions are going to be dwarves, but just of different walks of life and different approaches, because obviously those two are very much, like veteran warriors, and they seem to be to hold a little bit of an anti-intellectual stance, because when I told them told them I'm good at reading, they kind of laughed at that. But I guess that's might also be because that's a very weird way to say it. Like, I'm not sure if you can be good at reading. You can enjoy reading for sure, but as long as you know how to read, like, there isn't much of a variation. Because, those fast reading techniques are mostly a gimmick. They don't really work that well from what I know. And within the regular scope, within the regular limits, the difference in speed isn't really what reading is about. If anything, I would say being quote-unquote good at reading would be better expressed like, it's more important to, for example, have a good memory if you want to be a scholar. So I'm not quite sure what he wanted to communicate by saying he's good at reading, and maybe they were laughing at that. Oh, so I can choose a skill. Tangdil sweeps an enemy off his feet, or a lateral blow dealing damage to several enemies and knocking them sideways. Okay, this seems like a more interesting thing, to be honest. So let's go with that. Cleave. Although, I also have a reset option, so that's good to know for the future. And I found some provisions, a healing potion, some gold, and a talisman of protection. Okay. I've got some food, but not that much, to be honest, because each of them consumes one portion. So I'm just going to go to Blacksaddle. Presumably I can explore the rest of the world. I'm not sure what's happening. I can explore the rest of the world a little bit later. It's still the beginning at this point. What's that? Are those like enemies or... I'm not sure what the numbers are about. Yeah, orc horde. So maybe it is a number, maybe it's like their strength or something? Although, wait, the number is near the town. Go to Steppleton.
There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. Some of the locals are busy throwing the bodies on pyres, while others repair the minor damage done to the city wall.
I wonder if they will even let me enter.
You enter the city and the garrison at its centre without being spoken to. It is only when you reach a heavy oak door that leads, you assume, to the commanding officer's headquarters, that you are halted by a guard.
Dwarves, eh? Seems we aren't to be spared anything these days. What do you want?
It looks like you've got an orc problem.
Had. Our scouts detected the army early on, and we were able to repel them without any great losses. A small army of orcs like that couldn't breach our mighty walls.
Your mighty walls look like they're about to collapse under their own weight!
The soldier isn't intimidated by Boindil. He juts his chin out confidently.
At least they stopped the orcs, unlike your dwarven walls in the north.
I didn't know that Steppleton was so big. Impressive place.
We have fertile meadows. That's what we have to thank for the city's growth in recent years. At the time of my grandparents, Steppleton was nothing more than the tower on a hill with a couple of houses. Now we have a market, a temple, and of course, there are royal messengers stationed in the tower, which doesn't do the city's coffers any harm at all.
You said you had messengers here. I'd like to send a carrier pigeon to Lot Ionan in Yonandar.
Lot Ionan in Yonandar. No problem. It will cost you 90 gold pieces.
That's quite a lot, but I am going to send him a message. It would be, about what I'm planning to do and so on. I guess I have to carry it back. No, wait. I'm just taking something to Blacksaddle. So as I said, it would be pretty rude to just leave afterwards without contacting him. Like, he might have thought that I died for all he knows. So I am going to send it.
If the carrier pigeon delivers my message safely to Lot Ionan, then it's worth its weight in gold.
Then I'll send for a scribe. You can dictate your message and
thank you, but I can write it myself. Paper and ink will be sufficient.
The guard nods. You don't blame him for thinking you are illiterate. Very few ordinary folk can read or write. Once you've been given the writing implements, you write down a summary of what happened at the meeting of the Alf and the Orcs.
I thought he would also say that after delivering the package, he's going to leave for the south, like he's going to visit the dwarven kingdoms, but I guess not. Would I like to speak to your commander? I wouldn't really, but I am going to choose it just to see what happens.
I must speak with your commander.
Commander Valor doesn't have time. He's still very busy dealing with the aftermath of the orc attack.
But I guess I do have information that might be of interest to the commander.
Commander Valor is dealing with the orc problem, and I have important information concerning it. I witnessed a meeting of the orc lords.
The guard eyes you with interest and tries to judge whether you can be trusted. Finally, he stands up, opens a door, and enters the room ahead of you. The commander looks up from his work. The guard repeats what you told him.
Your information about the orcs could be useful. We have fought them back but not yet defeated them. Come in.
The commander listens attentively and now and then asks questions as you tell him about the 3 orc armies and the meeting of the chieftains with the Alv Sintheras.
This sounds very grave. I will send out messengers. We must be prepared.
The orc army that attacked you was able to escape?
What was left of it? They headed south. Unfortunately, I can't send anyone after them until the damage to the wall is repaired.
The commander looks at you with a disgruntled expression. It suddenly seems clear to him who he has standing in front of him.
If you're interested, you could try and wipe out the mob that got away and collect the bounty.
Killing pig noses and getting paid for it? Where's the heads?
You grin at Boindil and then turn back to the commander.
We'll see what we can do. We must press on. Farewell, Commander Valor.
Kill as many orcs as you can, dwarves. Palandi will be with you.
Okay, I still don't know. Okay, first of all, I don't know why that is happening. But besides, I still don't know what the numbers are about. I guess first, let's go to Blacksaddle finally, because I'm pretty close.
You see a camp with a wagon and 2 people on the edge of the path. Behind them, Blacksaddle towers up above a thick, dark forest, about a half a day's journey away. 2 horses are standing near the covered wagon, grazing. You can make out the shapes of boxes and barrels on the wagon. The 2 humans are wearing smart clothes and are sitting next to a large campfire. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. You don't want to give them a shock, so you address them while you're still a distance away.
Hello, friends. Is there any space by your fire?
The 2 traders look up and visibly jump when they see you 3 dwarves.
Ah, hello. Yes, of course.
It doesn't escape your attention that you seem to be causing the traders some uneasiness, but you take up their offer and sit down. The twins follow your example.
We're only travellers. We're looking for someone who's said to live on Blacksaddle. A hermit.
Someone who lives here?
The traders exchange amazed looks.
If they live here, they must be mad.
Normally we wouldn't stop and rest here, but the horses are too exhausted. Our departure from Parista was delayed and we must have driven them too hard.
Why does Blacksaddle make you feel uneasy? It doesn't look particularly inviting, but it's only a mountain.
Only a mountain? You don't know the legend?
The trader looks at you and the twins for affirmation, but you all shake your heads.
Blacksaddle was once known as Cloudpiercer, and it towered up into the heavens, the upper slopes of pure gold and the summit covered in snow. The humans wanted to attain this wealth, but the smooth slopes and the dazzling summit made the climb impossible. They called on the dwarves to help them. They were able to tunnel up through Cloudpiercer to the top. They hollowed it out and carried away the gold. The humans demanded that the treasure be shared, but the dwarves refused, and as they argued, the mountain began to tremble. There were too many holes inside for it to hold together. It collapsed and buried both greedy parties underneath it. The mountain lost its tremendous size and its beauty, and ever since has haunted both humans and dwarves with its erosive hatred, causing even the rocks to turn black over time.
Pfft, never heard of it. Sounds like human tittle-tattle. Dwarves would never hollow out a mountain so much that it collapses.
You come from Parista. How are things there?
No news to speak of, I'd say. Well, except for Nudin the Knowledge Lusty.
You know Nudin the Knowledge Lusty. Lot Ionan introduced him to you many years ago during a visit.
What about him?
Oh, nothing really. Just rumors.
You nod at the trader to continue.
He's behaving strangely and disappears into his tower for days on end.
And he looks ill, apparently. Well, that's what someone I know said. Perhaps he got a spell wrong.
Okay, let's trade with them as well. Do I want to hoard gold or do I want to spend it? I guess I will buy the healing potion at the very least. It seems like a pretty useful item to have. And I might buy a little bit more food. I guess I can buy it all. It's not that expensive. And it's certainly useful.
Later in the night, after eating together and some friendly conversation by the campfire, you all decide to sleep. But you take the first watch. It's a night in which nothing happens, and the next morning the traders set off early. After breakfast, you also continue on your journey.
Okay. But I still don't know what the numbers are about. Or chord. But this is a town, so what do they mean? Like, what's their... I guess this is the orc horde, maybe, that I'm supposed to hunt down for the people of Steppleton. Might try doing that, I guess. It's not that far, but I really should go to Blacksaddle first.
After a march through the thick pine forest, Blacksaddle, the sinister tabletop mountain, and your journey's destination rises up before you.
Are you sure that the famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot Ionan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
I can talk to them, I guess. Let's do that.
Found anything? A hidden camp? A secret doorway? Gold?
No. Not yet.
Found anything?
No.
Okay, not much of a conversation.
Even the dark evergreen forest seems to be afraid of the Black Mountain.
Okay, I didn't want to leave, actually. No.
Found anything?
No. I can only climb a little way here. There must be a better way. An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any moment. There we go.
Excuse me.
Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here. Oh, phew. That was close. I hope this is all worth it.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure what he is even looking for. Like, why is he climbing this particular mountain? I guess...
Definitely a rock face.
I guess he might think that whoever he is looking for is on the top.
There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the dwarven language.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood.
Build with the blood of our enemies? Interesting.
Hello?
So apparently there's like a dwarven tomb or some other kind of dwarven structure inside the mountain, which I guess makes sense, because if there was ever any truth to the legend, then obviously the dwarves hollowed out the mountain and presumably established at least some kind of a, of a settlement or like an outpost in it.
Master Garen, Lot Ionan sent me to bring some items back to you. My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they're written in the learned language, so you don't know which they are.
Greenglade. Oh, great.
So, presumably, if that's his journal, then I must go to this Greenglade place to follow him. Some statues, but I cannot inspect them. There are some runes in here, so I presume this is the tomb that the journal spoke about? Activated by runes, but doesn't look like anything happens when I step on them. Maybe I need light.
Useful. An eternal flame. I know who taught him that.
You see sketches and notes on the architectural features, statues and wall reliefs. It seems Garen spent a lot of time studying this place.
Maybe he's kind of a dwarf historian, or maybe he's just a treasure hunter. Guren is in Greenglade to visit his sunshine. Greenglade is in Gauragat. We can't have fallen in love with a pointy here, can he?
Okay, so the Greenglade is a place where the elves dwell, judging from that comment.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I wonder if I'll be able to investigate the statue now. Not quite.
Born of stone, forged in battle. Arise, reborn from the blood of the enemy.
You're not sure if you really want to know what was once in this basin. The whole place gives you the feeling that a decent dwarf shouldn't hang around too long.
Reborn from the blood of the enemy. And it's a basin, so am I supposed to assume that there was once a ceremony in which the ancient dwarves bathed in the blood of their enemies? That's pretty hardcore of them, I'm not going to lie.
A rune. Clearly magical.
Okay, so I can presumably light them.
Graves. Who could be buried here?
But I need a correct way, presumably. A correct order, rather. Well, that's not it either. Okay, so this was the first one.
Ah! That's it!
So I guess I have to become a grave robber, unless I can just leave, I guess. I'm kind of conflicted, because obviously I am curious. I am curious to see what's in there, but although, I'm not sure if that would be, technically speaking, grave robbing, because didn't the guy, Goren, didn't he write in his journal that he stashed some of his own supplies in this tomb and then sealed it with magic? I guess let's check it.
Goren's most valuable belongings. Letters from his lover, a silk scarf that must have belonged to her, and medallion.
Okay, so maybe I can bring it to him once I find him, although I'm not sure why he left it behind, if he treasured it so much. And also, that would be kind of an uncomfortable conversation where you turn up at somebody's door and bring him something that belongs to him. So but by the mere fact that you have it, it already proves that you've stolen it from him before. You've ransacked his place and stole it. So that's kind of uncomfortable, but I feel like it might be plot relevant or something, so I am going to take it. Talisman of healing. Oh, simple. So it's just a random item then. That's kind of weird. I wasn't expecting that. I was for sure certain that it must be, somehow important. Okay, nothing in here. Oh, look at the brazier. Look at the weapons. There still have quite a few things to...
Thirdly, the fortress belongs to the dwarf haters.
Dwarf haters?
A series of weapons that are all clearly of dwarven origin. The spider webs and rust suggest they have been here for quite a while. Maybe even centuries.
So was it like a clan of evil dwarves? Or something? Because obviously this is all of dwarven make, that much is for certain, but they also mentioned bathing in the blood of their enemies.
It looks as though Garen lived in the fortress for a while. It also seems that he left several lunar orbits ago.
I guess if I am stealing his stuff, I might go all the way with it. As I said, that's rude and also wrong, but regular life, everyday life, real lives, moral values don't really hold up in video games all that much, because it's difficult to play through a typical RPG not stealing anything, because technically speaking, if you wanted to be really pedantic about it, you would have to consider the point that taking stuff off of a body of a person, even of a person you've personally killed, is still illegal. Like, even if you killed somebody in self-defense, that doesn't really give you the right, in the modern perspective, to loot his corpse, basically, because he presumably still has a family or something that would want to retrieve those things, and you for certain are not allowed to just stroll into people's living quarters and just take their provisions because they are lying there. But in games, they are not really designed with such a meticulous way of looking at it in mind. You're just supposed to take the equipment when the game gives it to you and use it to progress. So I guess I am going to take it, because he isn't here. He might be gone for all I know. Like, why did he even leave that important amulet if it was so important to him? I'm not sure. But worst case scenario, I can explain to him that I took it because I thought I might need it on the way to find him, which is a feeble excuse for stealing from him, but...
It's not stealing, it would just be a shame if the provisions went off.
Okay, it's kind of nice that the protagonist himself kind of at least acknowledged that it's pretty wrong for him to do this, and yet did it anyway because I ordered him to. Okay. Well, let's look at those stone tablets.
Lorenber's dwarves are not only as unyielding as a mountain, they are also as destructive as an avalanche, and would batter into lesser kingdoms just as relentlessly. The four should find no salvation in Vracus, only eternal damnation, so that they suffer indescribable torment between the worlds.
You have heard of the dwarf haters, but this is the first time you have read their hateful words. You feel sick and turn away.
Yeah, so it was like an evil dwarven clan then. It's a pretty badass statue though.
Lorimber, the progenitor of the Thirdlings.
In most of the chronicles about the 5 dwarven kingdoms, only very little is written about the Thirdlings, and what is written is full of disgust. They are called traitors, or worse. It would seem that even the Thirdlings worship Vrakas, but in all the other kingdoms his shrine would be the biggest, not the statue of the kingdom's progenitor. A couple of gold coins are in the bowl in front of the shrine.
Okay. To be honest, if this wasn't a fantasy story, I would say stealing from a quote-unquote god might be, equally wrong, or even potentially a little bit less wrong than stealing from actual people, because gods in universes where their existence is unproven don't have much use for gold, but seeing how this is a fantasy universe, I'm kind of weary of the idea of stealing from a god. In fact, I might make an offering to him myself. It's not that large of a sum, and maybe something nice will happen.
Can't do any harm.
Right? I do kind of agree. Well, I did get experience out of it, so there is that. Okay, I think I explored everything around here. But I also feel that this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save here and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.